And we're live.
Welcome to the Raw Doggers Sportscast Live. I am Sean Watson, and with me is Ryan Kessler. What is going on?
Chilling out on a Saturday. Enjoying a little bit of the warmth.
Yeah, a little bit of the warmth, a little bit of the rain, a little bit of the Ohio-ness. And
yes,
we know that this shit's not going to last. Would you be able to take like this Seattle weather shit here in Ohio leading up to like every day until June?
I probably could.
Yeah. Or would you prefer that it just goes off the rails again and just gets frigid ass cold? Like we know it's going to happen, right?
Right.
We know that's going to happen. Like maybe tomorrow it could even like this shit could freeze. Like 40 degrees could drop, off the thermometer, and this shit would just be an ice rink outside. No? What do you think?
I would take the Seattle weather.
You would. Even though if it rained like 300 days a year, 320, whatever it is to you.
Yeah. It's a lot of green.
Okay. All right. I
think I'd be all right.
Okay. I don't know if I can do it.
I work in my office here, so it's basically like being a hermit anyway.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, we're going to get right into it. We want to talk tonight a little bit about NFL free agency overall, what the Browns have done so far. Of course, this is the NFL tampering period, they call it. So the league new year will not start until next Wednesday. I believe it's March 11th. So, but the tampering period just seems to get earlier and earlier every year.
I don't understand. Like,
let's just go.
Once the Super Bowl's over, just let it become absolute chaos.
Open the floodgates, right?
Yep.
I mean, they just got to get all their ducks in a row, I guess. I mean, as far as the NFL, like, no, we want to go ahead and space it out a little bit because we want to make sure that we're going to extend it even further out and get people's attention even further, right? So we're going to wait a little bit. And then, of course, like I said, March 11th is the actual kickoff. But so new league, new year, next Wednesday. Browns wasting no time, though. One of the big trades off the board, right? At least for us. We pick up Titus Howard, 30 from the Texans, right? For a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
Immediately sign him also to a 3-year, $63 million extension, which will come into effect after the expiration of his current contract. Now, what I hear a lot of this that's going on, you could tell me how you feel about it, but people aren't very happy about the contract extension. And Houston, of course, wanted to go ahead and get out from underneath that because they knew that was coming.
Yeah, I mean, to me, so Houston already, I think, drafted high at that position. Mm-hmm. So I think they have their next line of succession there. And they have some guys that are coming up that's going to need paid. So they must have faith in who they have coming up. You have your options on how to rebuild this offensive line, trading a 5th-round pick to get a guy that's been a decent starter in the NFL for the last 3 years. I don't think is a horrible move. And that's what is average about 20-some a year, 22, 21 a year.
Yeah, he missed no time this last season.
Right.
So that's good. He's played right tackle and also right guard. So I think
a little flexibility.
Are thinking, well, this guy, we might be able to plug him in to maybe some different areas, kind of like a swing, a swing type tackle, but his original position is right tackle. So we're still hurting on that left tackle side.
Right.
But something I did want to get into, I wanted to find out your interest in this, though. So Detroit went ahead and gave Taylor Decker his release. 10-year veteran, Ohio State tackle, true left tackle, Does he have anything left in the tank? Should the Browns be interested in him?
Not really sure. Have you seen any how he played last year? I didn't get to watch much Lions games, so I don't really have I know that he's been high level left tackle in the NFL for a long time. If
Yes.
you can get him on a deal to come in here and solidify that left side, I mean, then you're really flexible going into the draft.
Well, and that's the other point of it that I wanted to bring up was, depending on what the Browns do here, could really shape how their draft turns out, especially like in the first round and how they target. We may have a better idea of what they're going to do depending on what they get done essentially here in free agency.
Right.
So Decker, I didn't look at any of his numbers, but I'm thinking, he's got that experience at the left tackle.
Yeah, it's Tyler Decker, right?
Taylor Decker.
Taylor Decker. Okay.
Taylor Decker, yeah. I remember him when he was at Ohio State anyway. So
Oh yeah. So he had a overall PFF grade last year of a 67.9. That is a absolute upgrade at that position.
Well, exactly. So
even if he's a middle tier left tackle, if you get Batonio to come back and play beside him at left side, I think you're pretty happy with, as long as Batonio is going to hold up and he never misses time. It's just a matter of is his production going to be the same?
And my thing is this: it's not like we're not going to not draft a new generation of guys. Decker's been in been in the league for 10 years. And I'm sure that has
and you can still, the guy like was it out of I forget his name, but we did the mock draft, the big left tackle that's kind of going up the board right now.
Proctor.
Well, Proctor, but no. I'd have to look at that again.
Oh, Francis Mauigoa from Miami?
No, the guy that's been going up the draft, the big white guy. I think he's from Alabama. Or Georgia.
Oh, Morgan Freeland.
Freeland, yeah. And you can draft a guy like that.
Right.
To really, be your swing tackle. Or if Taylor Decker's going to be here and he beats him out, imagine having Taylor Decker as a swing tackle.
And I would, and it wouldn't bother me a bit to have that veteran presence that left.
Yeah, because that's going to be a 1-2 year deal if he comes here, I'm sure. So.
And no, what I'm saying is to go ahead and try to help train the new guy, get him familiar, and then hopefully he'll be able to step into that role. Sure. Yeah. I'm absolutely not saying that. So,
but I mean, then that just gives you, to me, if you can solidify both of those sides, you can really do whatever you want in the first round. If you want to get Tate at 6, if you want to get Caleb Downs, but I did hear he had some ACL issues.
Yeah, they're calling it a degenerative ACL
ligament or the tendon thing. Or I read something about it.
Yeah. So I guess Todd Gurley, from what I read, had this same kind of deal coming out of college, and it shortened his career. So
is that going to be the same for a safety though? Like I don't know.
Exactly.
I think you would still plan on him being high level for 6 to 8 years.
And I believe there's zero chance that drops Caleb Downs in this draft at all.
Really?
Zero. I don't think.
I mean, JOK drafted like a son of a bitch, but as a heart thing. But he dropped all the way to the second round. I'm just saying, if for whatever reason he gets dropped all the way down to 24, how do you not pick him at that point?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
But I do think that makes it a little less likely that they take a swing at him at 6, because why risk anything at that spot? You know what I mean?
Right.
With how many holes you have to fill.
Yeah, that's true. And I still believe, though, if Downs is there at 6, I don't think the Browns. I really think there's a good possibility the Browns trade back. And
what we did last week with our draft. Mock draft, I think that's actually pretty plausible.
Yeah,
that Dallas would want to swing up and get him.
And I think Well, and I don't know if you and I really discussed that with our first mock, but would you be okay with that and making that trade with Dallas? You miss out on Carnell Tate, but let's say Jordan Tyson's still there though. Or would you be willing to take the risk of trading back and missing out on both those guys?
Yeah, I know. That's going to be
That's
me
the tough.
personally. I think if Tate's there, you got to take him.
Yeah.
Not that it's not going to be the anger level I had when we picked fucking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round.
No.
I will be very disappointed, but it just kind of depends on where they go with it. If you're able to get some top end talent at wide receiver, 2 of them in the 1st round, or you're able to, in like how our mock landed, get 2 wide receivers and a left tackle. I mean, it'd be hard to argue with that. But if you're not going to be able to do that, and they'll have, they're going to have the information of who wants who, where, so if you're not going to be able to get Tyson at 12 or wherever Dallas has their pick at, I wouldn't make that. I would not make that trade, because what's really going to piss me off is we end up with Concepcion or whatever at the end of the 1st round. I've seen a lot of those him mock to us. I do not want to see that to be our swing at wide receiver.
No, and I heard he's really had a bit of a ball drop issue, which is what we don't fucking need.
What we do not need
in Cleveland. Okay,
right.
Let's be brutally honest here. So we've had plenty of that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I kind of made a list of what I felt was kind of like the top 5 free agency / trade moves, heading into next Wednesday. So, and there could be other things, there could be other things to come, but of course the franchise tag has expired. It expired this last Tuesday. So just so we have that, keep that in mind. So there was actually 4 players that were franchise tagged. One of them being Daniel Jones, Kyle Pitts out of Atlanta, Breece Hall with the Jets, and there's one more. I'm missing it. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Anyway.
No, I think I'm thinking of Breece Hall. Was it Breece Hall that they were talking about? They're kind of in the middle of getting a deal done, but that's just in place. Or was that Kyle Pitts?
I think that was Breece Hall.
Okay.
That you're talking about. There's one more player that actually got the franchise tag too, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Sorry. Anyway, big bomb last night. Sent it over to you late. This has been all the noise. Number 1 free agent move right here. I shouldn't say free agent. It's actually a trade. Is 5-time Pro Bowler Max Crosby being traded to Baltimore for so the Raiders are going to receive this year Baltimore's 1st and the 2027 first, and the Ravens have to absorb the immediate hit of $37 million, which is going to come off that newly re-upped contract with Crosby when he was with the Raiders.
Right.
So,
yeah, he's going to solidify that defense. I think that's about all they need on that side of the ball is someone dominant up front. So, of course, God forbid he goes anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And I really thought in my mind, and I think just listening to the stuff that was being thrown out in the media, things that the Chicago Bears were doing, did it seem like they were clearing up cap space? Did it?
Right.
It like they were the ones that were really going to go ahead and make a run at Max Crosby.
Yeah, because I
just came out late last night from Schefter, Crosby's going to the Ravens, and I didn't hear anything about Crosby going to the Ravens at all.
Yeah, and that's, you heard some rumblings about maybe Miles going to Chicago. I still think that trade window of us trading him is just kind of not possible with the cap situation.
Right.
So that's kind of a pipe dream on their part. But, to me, I'm happy for him because he's going to actually understand what winning's like.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
last night I'm like, no, I'm not happy for the, happy for Tom Brady and part ownership of the Raiders. Fuck
right.
But you're like, no. I mean, Crosby. It's like, oh yeah. I'm 100% on the player's side here. That's fine. Although, there's probably I don't know in the neighborhood of, let's say 28, 29 teams I would rather have seen that guy go to rather than the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I'm just saying as a Browns fan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's almost a little bit better than him going to Pittsburgh. But
is it? I don't know.
Yeah, or I mean, actually it would have been better if he would have ended up in Cincy because he would have just been the only guy on their defense.
Right.
But Baltimore's defense is stacked. It's getting better. That's going to be whenever we play them. That'll be the test of the offensive line for sure.
Right.
And how the season's going to look there. So yeah, I mean, Oakland, Las Vegas, they needed picks, they needed capital, they need to build that offense because we all know who they're going to pick.
Right.
So definitely see where they're coming from it, and Baltimore's in their win now window.
Right.
And that window is closing. People are aging. How many years can Derrick Henry get 1,400 yards? Like, it's just insane.
Right.
1,200 yards. Lamar's not.
He's not running like he used to.
Yeah, he's not athletically like he was earlier in his career. I still think he's top 10, top 8, top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, I hate to admit that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is something that they need. Put a little stress off their secondary that is aging. So, I think with Baltimore, with them because they gave up this year's first and next year's, right?
Correct.
I mean, they're going to have to start resupplying there, but it seems like they do a good job in the second, third rounds of hitting on guys in the secondary. Yeah, so
they do.
That's just who Baltimore is. So until that changes, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's funny you should talk about the passing defense with Baltimore. So on Pro Football Focus, I actually looked at them this past season, and this isn't not usually what you see out of these Baltimore defenses, but they ranked 30th in the league in pass yards given up. So
I think a lot of that
because that starts with the quarterback pressures, right?
Yeah, and they had some injury issues, like they seem like they always do.
Yeah,
like the one thing that they've never really figured out is getting a good strength and conditioning coach or something. But and I think men are going there. I think that defense is going to have even more attention put onto it. So they definitely have the talent there. Now that front's going to be even nastier.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a pain in the ass 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah. And hopefully not any further than that, right?
Well, it would be nice to be 3. That means we're in the playoffs, but
right.
Right. I wouldn't be that mad at it.
Next big trade, Trent McDuffie traded to the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
This a big surprise for you? I mean, the Rams had 2 first-round picks this year. They're giving Kansas City their 29. They're also giving Kansas City their 5th-round pick this year, their 6th-round pick this year, and a 3rd-round pick in 2027.
No, I don't think it's a surprise. Kansas City needs to reload. Yeah, Kansas City needs to reload, and the Rams are trying to shore up to be able to compete with Seattle. So I think this helps both sides out on where they are at in their franchise. So
nobody's really talking about Kansas City much either. I mean, but with them, I guess from what I understand, though, Kansas City, it's nothing for them to go ahead and deal away secondary pieces. And especially
and I mean, has their front office really done that good of a job the last few years?
Yeah, when you think about it.
I mean, even the draft picks, Pacheco was kind of nice, but didn't really end up being the kind of guy I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, the whole jump into the draft with Xavier Worthy and that trade with Buffalo.
Yeah.
I
mean, Xavier Worthy looks like he's competent, but is he going to? It's not like Tyreek Hill or
you go and you get a DeAndre Hopkins.
All right.
33
years old, whatever he is.
Yeah. He ends up going to the Ravens, but I feel like he was underutilized there too.
Yeah.
especially with the absence of some of their wide receivers.
I mean, that offense there has been a struggle for them, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
you got Pat Mahomes, and he'll deliver in big moments, but like the cushion that they had for so long, just because that offense is so explosive, has just not been there.
Right.
So,
Well, and you figure when they were really kind of in their prime, I mean, you had Tyreek Hill and you had Travis Kelce. I mean, you had a guy that was sitting down in soft zone, and then eventually it would wear on you until you're ready to go ahead and take that shot with Tyreek.
right.
Then
Yeah, and they had Scantling, they had other guys that fit their roles in that offense really well.
right.
And it just seems like they've had some troubles getting the right kind of guys in there for that. So it'll be interesting to see Kansas City. I'm assuming that they're going to be right back in the hunt of things, but you never know. I mean, you have to make the right decisions once you pay the quarterback
Yeah,
to
I
build
actually
around him.
already heard like preseason odds. Kansas City is actually ranked to win the Super Bowl ahead of New England right now. I mean, it's like
I
right
don't
in,
really believe that.
yeah, right in their top I
Well, and
think
they
their top
they cut
5.
Stephon Diggs. They just cut Stephon Diggs too, right?
Yes, Patriots did. No, I'm
Yeah, I
saying
mean,
Kansas City is actually more favored than New England right now
yeah,
next season.
New England needs to make some moves to, I think, that nothing against them, but they kind of got lucky with the matchups there in the AFC side
Right.
with Denver's quarterback injury and
Right.
whatever has happened to CJ Stroud. I think they definitely need to give him some more help on the outside. But yeah, to put Kansas City right back into the Super Bowl picture, I don't know if I would go that far. I think they're going to be right there in the hunt in the AFC West, but that's not an easy division either.
No. No, and I agree with that. But I just think it was kind of telling that Vegas has them already so high,
Right.
and people are just kind of dismissed Kansas City. And I feel like you shouldn't. I mean, you just shouldn't do that. You still have Patrick Mahomes there and a quarterback that can make, ordinary guys on that offense look extraordinary.
Right. Yeah,
So,
they got to really start hitting on their draft pick, especially now that they have the luxury of picking a little higher than they have in the last 10 years. So, which they have a good track record of doing, but that track record goes back a while, because they've been picking in the high 20s, low
right.
30s here in the last 8 years.
And I also heard there's a bit of, some rumors flying around too, because Seattle did not franchise Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker. Yes. So I'm hearing rumors floating around that Kansas City, because of, their lack of that run game, Pacheco injuries, Kareem Hunt, not what he was before,
Right.
that there definitely is some traction with Kenneth Walker possibly making it to Kansas City.
Yeah, the running back dilemma is still there. To me, when you get a good one, better not let them go. But then, these guys wear out early for
They
the
wear
most
out
part.
quick. Right. Next one I want to talk about, DJ Moore going to the Bills. So DJ Moore, former Carolina, and then now
Bears.
former Bears. Is
Really,
going. DJ Moore is going to the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, that's going to be nothing but good things for Josh Allen.
Absolutely. And like a number one guy, and I saw where somebody was saying, okay, Josh, you got your number one. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, and he's getting to the point where, is he going to be Dan Marino?
Yeah, right. So DJ Moore. So basically, they gave up a second round pick to Chicago for DJ Moore. Now, they do have a lot of that because he has a lot of guaranteed money starting with this season. 23.5 million base pay already guaranteed. In the 2027, 23.5 million is going to be guaranteed, by next week. So,
Ravens fan.
Okay. guaranteed. And then the Bills did negotiate it down that they're going to give DJ Moore $15.5 million in 2028. So good move. I mean, second round pick for the Bears, and the Bears. And this is what I was talking about. The Bears get that money off their cap, because at some point you're going to have Caleb Williams. You're going to have to deal with that.
Yep.
All right. And
but they still got a few years of runway there.
They do. But I also feel like
they have some good talent there in that wide receiving room. So
yeah, they
makes sense.
Yeah, Rome Odunze. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know he was hurt for a good portion of the season, and DJ Moore kind of benefited from that. This last season. So, but DJ Moore was essentially the two once Rome Odunze came in there. So, anyway. David Montgomery. I don't know if you have this one like possibly your top 4. This happened the same day that the Browns went ahead and got the tackle from Howard from the Texans. So Montgomery goes to the Texans for guard Juice Scruggs. So Texans just dealing away offensive linemen here and a 5th round pick. Now, you're saying dealing away offensive linemen. If you don't recall, say whatever you want to say about CJ Stroud, that guy didn't have much time, and that was a really bad spot for the Texans. And just like you said, I don't know if they have guys that are up and coming and they feel good about it. They must, because I don't hear them really signing anybody else. But they've dealt away 2 of their offensive linemen.
Well, I know behind Howard, there was a first rounder that they drafted last year. So
okay.
Well, and they had some injury issues coming into the playoffs too, right? On the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these guys weren't playing, so.
But a lot of the Texans fans, I happen to be in one of those groups, and of course, as fans, they're kind of excited about it and stuff like that too. But then they keep going back to Laramie Tunsil and how they traded that dude away, who's just been an outstanding left tackle.
Right.
So, also with the Texans, though, because of David Montgomery, Joe Mixon gets his outright requested release. Didn't play any ball this last year with them. I know he had an injury going into the season, but then there was nothing. There was it seemed like there was no updates on him or anything. So Joe Mixon, per his request, gets his outright release. And I understand that too. I mean, Woody Marks, the rookie this last year, he was paired with Chubb. Then you're probably going to go ahead and bring Montgomery in.
Right.
And Chubb's probably not going to be there, I'm thinking. Or I have no idea.
I wouldn't mind Joe Mixon being our number 2 here.
Right. I know. I was kind of thinking that too. I mean, that wouldn't be
terrible. Sampson's like a scat back. And thing is when Quinchon goes down, like he's not a guy that's supposed to be back there for 10, 15, 20 carries. You know what I mean?
100%.
Mixon could be that guy.
Right. And then
maybe he'll actually get some more touches than he did in Cincinnati here, even at the number 2.
Right. Then number 5, I have Colts placing the transition tag, which is kind of a special tag, not just a franchise tag, on quarterback Daniel Jones. So the transition tag is different from the franchise tag because with the transition tag, you basically have the ability to let other teams make offers for the player, but you have the ability as an organization to go ahead and match that. And if you match it, you get to retain that player. Right. Whereas, so basically he could
didn't Baltimore do that?
Yeah.
With Lamar last year or the year before, whenever that was?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. They did, because we talked about that then.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones, regardless, is going to make $37 million.
Well, and I think too, is if another team signs him, isn't there like an immediate compensation for the team? Like, isn't it like 2 first rounders?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I forgot about that part. There probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there probably is there. But for them to go ahead and put that, so that tells you where they're going. Then they don't feel anything bad about Daniel Jones. Of course, he was doing extremely well for the Colts. Colts were kind of running away with things, and then he goes down with that injury, and man, the Colts end up missing the playoffs. So
got to see Rivers come back out of it.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I get them not just paying him right off rip. I mean, they were what, like 6-1, 7-1 when he went down or something.
Yeah, 7-1. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably want to see that a little bit more, especially after that injury, before you give him a big deal.
Right. Well, and he already had
see what the market demands of him too, because anybody makes an offer to him, that'll kind of give him a baseline of where they need to be.
Right. And he already had an extended deal with the Giants, before this. So It's not like he's probably hurting for money anyway.
Was that 2021 draft?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'd have to look up what year that was.
Yeah. No, it might have been 2019. Because it wasn't that long after Saquon.
Yeah, was that the same draft as Saquon?
No, I don't think it was the same draft, because he was a first rounder.
Right, he was. Oh, yeah, that's right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Maybe it was.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was kind of I was figuring they were going to put a tag on him, whether it was the transition tag or franchise tag.
So here's what happens, though. Now that they went ahead and put that transition tag on him, then they can't tag anybody else. So Alex Pierce is still out there.
Wide receiver.
Yes, wide receiver for the Colts. Going to demand a big contract. So don't know. We were talking about wide receivers. That guy's got some speed, and he's really kind of a go-to guy for the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, would you want to put out big money for him?
I think I would.
The Browns.
I talking about reshaping the first round of the draft. I mean, let's say you go and get that guy.
25 years old. 6'3". Yeah, I mean, he's kind of what we wanted.
Right. He's got top off the defense kind of, playability. Yeah, I think I would.
Seeing a lot of rumors of him possibly ending up in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, we can go after him, but there's going to be people in that market for sure.
Sure.
I'm surprised where the Colts are that they wouldn't want to spend that money to keep him. He's 25.
Well, and I'm not saying they won't.
Right. But, I mean, we're coming into free agency period, so.
Right.
If he's not signed, he's not signed.
Now you went ahead and put that transition tag that, blows that one out. So you can't do that with Pierce. So that's going to open that up. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking about it. And we kind of talked about Taylor Decker. It's interesting. I haven't heard anybody really talk about him. We talked about him a little bit, but the couple of other notables I wanted to bring up is Kyler Murray. Of course, that happened pretty early on. Kyler Murray, Arizona, saying that they're going to give him his outright release. That's going to be dead cap money on Arizona right off the get. So if they release him on next Wednesday, which is what the plan is,
you can get it pretty cheap.
Yeah, you should be able to get the guy pretty cheap. Yeah, but then that also makes it so that he can kind of pick a spot too, within reason.
I think Miami.
I hear that he has two teams that he's kind of kept in his back pocket. Now, the one that's kind of gaining some ground here is the Vikings.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray to the Vikings. Is 9 done? He's got to be done, right?
I mean, he's definitely not a sure thing. So,
I mean, because, I heard somebody else talk about this, and I 100% agree. You're not bringing in Kyler Murray and McCarthy's a backup, or vice versa. You bring in Kyler Murray to be your starter.
Right.
So that tells me if that does happen.
Well, that'll probably put McCarthy up at a trade block. You probably get him for nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They're not going to just release him, but
Don't want that
I
guy.
mean, if I'm in Minnesota's situation, that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
They seem to do pretty well with retreads,
Yeah.
kicking
They
themselves
do.
in the ass for letting Sam Darnold go.
Right. Right. Any interest with the Browns and Kyler Murray?
I don't. One, I'm sure, with Minnesota being out there, he's got better destinations.
Agreed.
And he would be cheap. The thing is, Myers here says that when Cousins is released, that we go get him. If you do that, if you go get Cousins or you get him, that's your starter. There's no way around it to me. So
same way with Minnesota. You're saying Cousins is the starter?
If you do, right. Oh, okay. If we brought in Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
So
I don't think he would have to be.
Well, okay, so if he's not, that means that Deshaun or Shador are probably out. Like that, they'll have to get rid of one of them. And what they just did with the cap for Deshaun, I don't see him going until next year. Correct. They pretty much scheduled it for him to be released post June 1 next year, right?
Correct.
So if you bring in a guy like that, to me, you're not going to have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. And I don't know. I just think that dynamic would be very wonky. Now, if you're going to Kyler Murray to say this is our face of the franchise, basically, give him the shot to be that, you could do that. I don't think that's what they need to do right now.
Right. I agree with what you're saying with Kyler Murray. If you bring that guy in, that's going to be your franchise quarterback. It's the same way as if he went to Minnesota, which would be interesting to see if that's what happens. But I don't know if I look at Kirk Cousins that way. I don't know if I look at Kirk Cousins as the same light as I do Kyler Murray.
But if you bring him in here, you already have the most expensive backup in the league.
Correct.
Or, it might end up that he's our week 1 starter, Deshaun. Who knows? It's a new coaching staff. Guys played basically in a year and a half again. So I wouldn't be a betting man there. But I think the vet that we have, Myers, is to have Deshaun be the backup. He's going to be in the room. You can't cut him. That's the situation you're in. They need to put they need to put all of their pieces on building around the quarterback.
Right.
And you're going to have this year to see if Shador's the guy, in my opinion. And if he's not, then you're going to have to make a move in the offseason. Deshaun will be gone, and then that's where you go either draft one high or find somebody in free agency.
Right.
My opinion.
Right.
I mean, I wanted Kirk Cousins here during the whole Baker mess anyway.
That was 5 years ago, though. That was 5 years ago. Kirk Cousins. That was pre-Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So it's just the situation is what the situation is. We can't change that.
Right.
And he'll be gone next year. So, but I think there's plenty of promise with Shador, and they're going to build this offensive line. You get some pieces in there. That's what you got to roll with. Defense is still going to be back. In my humble opinion. Let me know if you disagree.
Now,
I'm sure you do.
As far as Kyler Murray goes, I am not a Kyler Murray guy. I know his first couple years in Arizona, he looked pretty decent. The guy's like, 5'8", 5'6", 5'7", something like that. He's not an AFC North quarterback.
Right.
I know he won the Heisman Trophy at Oklahoma, but he's not built for the AFC North. He just isn't.
Well, it's not even the AFC North. I just don't think he's built to be like a long-term guy.
Right. Yeah, and
he talk about relying on athleticism. He has to rely on it a lot.
Sure.
And,
does he have a heck of an arm? Yeah, he does. I mean, we're not talking like Dylan Gabriel throwing it off his back foot, short guy. Okay, the guy's got an arm.
No, and he has the ability to work with his height at this point, but
Right.
he's getting older. I just don't know. I wouldn't put my trust in that. And just the way he has been off the field there in Arizona, even though it would be a cheap trial run, I think you're wasting your time with it, in my opinion.
Right. Another quarterback. I want to find out if you're interested in this though. Geno Smith.
I don't think so.
No. So Geno Smith.
I don't think that, because he's what now? Is he like, he's 34, 35?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, not that that's super old for quarterbacks, but again, like if Geno comes in here, that's your starter.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that he's still going to be not the cheapest thing either. I don't know. I want all of our assets to go around the quarterback position myself.
Right.
Now, the only difference with that to me would be with guy from Green Bay. I can't think of his name.
The tackle?
No, Malik Willis.
Oh, Malik Willis. Okay. Okay.
Now, if you want to make that move, you're bringing in a young guy, a lot of upside. If it's a 2-year, $50 million deal, you could probably cut that. And I don't think that's a waste of time. I think you might, kind of like a Sam Darnold situation or some of these quarterbacks that don't make it in their first spot and make it somewhere else. I could see that being a viable option. And something that I could definitely get behind.
Mm-hmm.
But, he also has, depends on where he kind of wants to go too. So.
Right. The only problem I have, I think, with Malik Willis is I feel like he was talked up a lot and nobody's really talking about that. It's almost like they just keep throwing out this Malik Willis because the free agency for quarterbacks is kind of slim. And I feel like he's more of a talking point. And I'm not saying that he didn't do well at Green Bay, but he had very few starts there.
Right.
And when you're talking about retreading a quarterback, I'd much rather go after a guy like a Mac Jones, where at least he played 7 or 8. Yeah, but he played 7 or 8 games for the Niners this year.
Yeah.
He won a majority of those games with the 49ers.
But I think Malik Willis, there's an upside there that Mac Jones just doesn't have.
Okay. You're talking ceiling wise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
But I mean, Mac Jones, could he stabilize the position? Probably.
Yeah.
That's pretty much just a younger Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Which, yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. But I think they've already pretty much told him if they're going to make a trade, they're not going to let him go anywhere that fucks his career up, basically. So,
right.
I wouldn't put too much stock in him getting here.
So you touched on that a little bit. The Browns restructuring Watson's deal, 4th year in a row for this. No surprise. Basically, it's taking his cap hit immediately for this season from 80 million down to about, what is it, a little less than 40, 39 and change.
Was it 39 or 34?
Yeah, it's one of the two. But anyway, you're basically cutting it in half, and you're getting your cap way, out of the depths of the abyss,
right?
And it's giving you some walk around money, for lack of a better term, like I use on my bets, giving you some walk around money to go ahead and look at some free agents.
Yeah, well, I mean, even just they needed to do that, be able to make that trade with Houston, try to solidify the offensive line a little bit. Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty active. They have enough money to work around the free agent market. We're talking about Alec Pierce. That would surprise me. I don't see them like going out and really blowing their load on one signing, but
and that's
I mean, because wide receivers are getting paid so much money now, it's insane. The left tackle is from Green Bay. He didn't get tagged.
No.
So he's going to be unrestricted.
Yes.
That I would think that they're going to make a push there. Now, if you can come out of the free agency period here with a starting right and left tackle, we're talking about Taylor Decker. I mean, you're just giving yourself a lot more flexibility for the draft,
Right.
which that's
And I love
my
that.
main point of contention.
Right. And I love that. So, but speaking of quarterbacks, so the Browns definitely had 3 meetings over this last week. One of those meetings was with Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback that went ahead and declared for the NFL draft. I'm not really about this guy. Okay. I should say this. I might be about this guy if I had somebody in the room that he could sit behind. Okay. I wouldn't mind it then. But I feel like Ty Simpson is in the draft at least a year or two early, rightfully so. And I said that before because the quarterback class is rather thin. It makes sense for him to go ahead and try to make the move into the draft this year. And he's probably going to be this quarterback that's going to move up the draft board. But we don't have the person in place to mentor that to let him sit, which I think
Yeah, and that just
have to do.
For a guy like him, that's a project. You already have projects in your quarterback room.
Right.
If all of this does not work out this year, I would much rather be picking a quarterback in next year's draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that's not the way they go.
Me too.
Because you need so much around the quarterback position right now.
Right. And then the other two.
We've just been barren in first round picks. The wide receiver room needs to be absolutely overturned. So to me, I don't see how they don't come out of this draft with 2 or 3 wide receivers drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe someone in free agency signed. So
Stephon Diggs? You signing Stephon Diggs?
Is he coming here?
No. No. I don't want Stephon Diggs here. My answer.
I'm not a huge fan of his either.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe some mid-level wide receivers to help fill out that room. I still think. I mean, Tillman's probably gonna be back, but you can never count on him to be healthy. That's
right.
I think he's got all the talent. He just cannot stay out on the field.
Isaiah Bond going to elevate his.
I think Isaiah Bond is
elevate himself.
That elevated himself to kind of put him in the wide receiver 3-2 area possibility for this coming year. But you should definitely have at least 2 high-end rookies coming into that room, which they have the ability to do. So, this draft's going to be very interesting.
So the other 2 were wide receivers, Cardell Tate and Jordan Tyson, which we've talked about both of those wide receivers.
Yep.
So I just thought it was interesting that the Browns decided to go ahead and have a meeting with Ty Simpson.
You got to.
And I don't know if that's to kind of throw people off, possibly, but I'm with you.
Get somebody to call up and try to trade up to that
absolutely.
spot. Because, I mean, quarterback is a need. Can't say it's not. As much as we like Shador, there's no, we can't say for sure that he's a franchise guy.
No. And I'm not saying that at all. But I think if you want to go ahead and run with him, then you need to. All right. The other thing I wanted to kind of bring up tonight is Quinshon Judkins, who was hurt for us. What was that? Week 14, I believe, somewhere in that neighborhood. But he was actually on Caleb Downs to Business podcast, and he was asking Quinshon Judkins some questions, and one of them was this one right here about Todd Monken.
Couple different coaches over the past couple of years. Have you heard from your new head coach, Todd Monken, yet?
Bro, I have. And, bro, honestly, it's not what I thought it would have been.
When
I say that in a good way.
What did you think it was going to be?
You thought he was going to be I thought nerdy? He was going to be, more so, because my past coach, bro, he was, really even kill, bro, super quiet. I thought I was going to get that from Coach Monken, but it wasn't that. He was, a real players coach, bro, give me a hug, all that, bro. So he was just super communicative of what he wanted from the team, what his goal is, what his objective is, what he want to come in and do. And, he knows exactly what he wants, and he has a vision. And I think that's what's important as a head coach, and especially being vocal about it, too. I think that's what matters.
I respect the Seahawks head coach when they put that video out last week for their last game, and he was like, it was back in before the season. He was talking about what the team was going to do and everything like that. So I respect what you're talking about. Yeah,
bro.
You think it's surprising that he said the quarterback position is basically an open battle? Or, I mean, you had 2 different rookies playing last year. I feel like it was a different kind of situation, like a RG3 Kirk Cousins situation, like 2 quarterbacks drafted in the same class. I mean, do you think he means he's like bringing somebody in, or he's letting them 2 compete?
My opinion, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, facts.
Like, that's hard. Like, even if I had an opinion on it, you never really know at the end of the day, because everybody looks at each player a different way.
Yeah.
Like, I love all the quarterbacks in our room. Like, we got such a young team, and they develop so much throughout the year. They look like totally different players than when they first started out, and they changed night and day in the way they've grown. But I mean, when he said that, me personally, I didn't think nothing of it. I think that's when any coach would come in and say, you know, you earn your respect on the grass. So it's like, that's what his job is to do.
Earn your respect on the grass, man. I like that.
Deshaun Watson coming back this year? Like,
I mean, also, I see Deshaun. Last time he was at the facility, I seen him all year. Come in, he works hard, bro. He does his job. So
y'all still got 3 on the roster.
Yeah,
for sure. How was it to see that Shadur made the Pro Bowl for you?
That was good, bro. I was happy for him, bro. You know, to see what he endured all year and him to make it through that. You know, the ups and downs, and see him be rewarded with that. I'm happy for him, bro. So that's good for him.
All right. Nah, a lot of people always got something to say about him.
Any surprise there with Quinshon Judkins? And I like it. I like the, you know, I think it's interesting to see, you know, some of these players, and he was a rookie this past season. I think it's interesting for him to vocalize in so many words. Monken is a completely different guy, completely different cat than what Kevin Stefanski was in that locker room. And that should be kind of telling as to how Kevin Stefanski was in the locker room, not being vocal, not being a guy that had a clear belief as he wanted the team to play. And that just,
I mean, I feel like that's been the chatter for like the last 2 years anyway.
Right.
On Stefanski. Very chalkboard type coach compared to a football guy.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I'm starting to like Monken more and more. You know, we had our discussion about that during the coaching search process.
Right.
I think the process was a little wonky, but you know, it all really matters is, you know, the end result. I think he's definitely what fans have wanted from a personality perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's going to be a lot of fire there. The press conferences aren't going to be absolute hell. You know, you know, how they're 1-7, but you know, yeah, I think Monken's got the guys energized there. You know, it's going to be really cool to see the evolution of the offense. You know, once we get through this offseason period of adding the free agents and the draft picks and everything, see it all come together.
Right.
You know, there's definitely going to be a buzz, you know, until that bone saw hits, and hopefully, you know, I just want them to be competitive this year. And I think things are pointing in the right direction. You just hope you don't see the shoe drop.
Right. And I'm hoping that maybe we'll see some other players come out, you know, as it kind of gives us a sneak peek into what it was like being in with Kevin Stefanski for the last 6 years.
Right. It'll be interesting to kind of see, you know, Miles will have something for us, soundbite at some point about it during August or whenever they come in for OTAs.
Sure.
You know, because he was that, you know, that defense loved Schwartz. So hopefully the butthurt about that will kind of go away once they get in the building. I've really liked the interviews I've seen with the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen much on the D coordinator yet. That'll be kind of interesting to see how the team reacts to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the guys that we wanted to be there are still kind of on the staff, so that I think that helps. But yeah, no, a lot of good things from Quinshon there. He looked good.
Yeah.
Recovering from that injury, but you know, is he still wearing a boot? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, he was sitting down the whole time.
Right.
I did kind of like the 80s, early 90s, like throwback windbreaker thing he had going on there. It makes me wonder if he had like the matching zebra pants to go with it.
They had the chain and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I really kind of like it. I was immediately I wanted to hear some 80s rap, you know,
Absolutely.
like, and just kind of cued into the show. So yeah, but I haven't heard anything more about that. So anyway, anything else you want to get into tonight?
No. As always, if you guys want to check out our Discord, all that information is in the description. So if you guys haven't already, if you could please like and subscribe here on whatever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, that'd be awesome. And join our Discord community. You know, it's free. And, you know, once people start joining up there, we'll have all the as much news as we could pop through there. You guys have the ability to talk about everything that's happening throughout the NFL, NBA. You know, baseball's starting to warm up here. We'll probably get some spring training news, you know, out of our hapless Guardians, Indians.
Right. And the Cavs making a push. So
yeah, and with the Cavs trying to get better seeding going into the playoffs here, they've been playing really well. So try to get some more news and with that. Next week we'll try to push out some more mock drafts. Feel free to use some of the sites that we're using and put up your mocks. See if we can see where everyone's leaning in that first round. I think I don't know if everybody's really like there's a consensus in the Browns world about what everybody wants to do in that first round, at least. So that'll be interesting. And obviously, whenever the draft rolls around, we'll be live streaming the first round at least. So
right. All right. Well, tell us where we were right. Tell us where we're wrong, and ask us if we care. Until next time.